Hey everybody, Kimberly here, and I am really excited to bring you my take on Pioneer Rails. Now, the interesting thing about this is I got Pioneer Rails around the same time I got Fliptown. And Fliptown really won me over. It just blew me away with how delicious and fun and exciting it is. And I love that dry erase with the flip and write. Here it's a flip and write, and the theme was similar. And I kind of just said, well, when I play one or the other, I'm going to play Fliptown. But I gave Pioneer Rails more tries in the last half year, and I have to say the more I play it, the more it's grown on me. And so I wanted to share with you my experience with adding some of those expansions or advanced plays, and then show you the different maps and what this game has to offer, because I do think there is something really, really delightful here. Now, while this is a flip and write, it also is a network builder, and I think it's just really, really thoughtful. So what players are going to do is they're going to get one of these sheets. Now, this is the desert sheet. It has one side, and then if you flip it over, it's got a different side, and it has the river running through it in a different configuration, along with all the different buildings and locations. But the game is going to function very similarly. So this is one sheet, and then I got the expansion as part of my Pioneer Rails. I got the forest sheet. And so again, it's got different configuration of the rivers, but then there's also another component here of prisons. There are even extra sets of cards that are used with this set. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a bit. But I think what that does is it just gives a lot of flexibility in play, like a lot of replayability. So there's this really fantastic poker chip. That's the start player. Everyone gets their pencil. Here's a little eraser. What I've done is there are 3 sets of objectives, and I have shuffled them. They are in different groups. You can see that this says Sheriff Badge. This says Ranch with a little horseshoe. And then there is the Denver and Rio Grande Western, which has like a little train symbol on it. So there are 5 cards of each of those, and you just pick one. So every time you play, those public objectives are going to be visible to everyone. They're going to be different. So I've got a Sheriff Badge. Everyone, it says here, first person to get there, 10 points. Next people to get there, 5 points. What this is if you've delivered 5 gold nuggets to a bank, you trigger this. And at the end of your turn, you're going to see, have I done any of these particular objectives? The next one, this is the Rio Grande. This says, did you build 2 bridges? Then you do it, you get it. Building bridges and tunnels is kind of challenging. And again, I mean, obviously, you're going to be going across the water if you build a bridge, and then you're going to be going through the mountains, which is illegal both ways unless you actually build the bridge or the tunnel. That makes absolute sense. And then this last one is if you build to the edge of the map from any of these starting locations or depots. So that's going to be what this one asks players to do. So now that we have this set up, all we need to do, we have this deck right here. We're going to shuffle it up, and I'm just going to deal out 3 cards. These are going to be the 3 cards that are available. Yes and yes. These cards are of the 4 major suits. And they also just go from 10 to ace. And so you're going to see ace, 10, and king. We have 2 spades here. We have 1 club. Now, the lead player, the dealer, this is going to be the start player. They will select one of these cards and take it to place in front of them. That means that nobody else at the table that round can have that card. And then everyone else at the table looks at one of the remaining 2 cards and then selects that card, but doesn't take and place it in front of them, because all players remaining can pick either the same or different cards that are out there. So what I'm looking at first is that I need to write down. You'll see down here, this has our round structure. There are going to be 5 turns per round, and there are going to be 4 rounds in the game. And so the first thing I do when I pick my card is that I will write down the 10, Jack, Queen, King, or Ace symbol. And at the end of every round, I'm trying to make the best poker hand. And I'm going to show you my, my board here to show you, because it's really, really close up. But this is where you're going to be putting all of your information each round. And then down here, it shows you what the victory point scoring is for getting a pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, full house, and so forth. So you do have to know just a little bit of poker, but it's not too hard because they have the answers right here. It's like a little cheat sheet available to all players. And there is a chance that you could possibly get your poker hand score ×2, which is what that is. So that's what I'm going to do first. And then you need to make sure that the suit you pick of the ace to 10 is where you're going to be extending your station or your depot. So if I pick the king, I'm going to be utilizing the clubs. If I'm going to be picking the spades, I'm going to be extending my train in the spades area or at the end of one of my existing spade routes. So that's all I do. I'm just going to pick king. Let's say I do this. I want to grab the only kind of unique card. I'm going to place that in front of me as that start player, leaving my fellow players just spades to pick from, but they get to pick the ace or the 10. And then I'm going to extend. Now this is the second step of a player's turn, extend a railway. I will extend 3 legs, and a leg is simply 1/6. It's like one side of the hex. I can come off of this, all of them. I can take all 3 and just go 1, 2, 3 and just come off of it. Or I can keep my train going. So I can always come off of the station that matches my suit, or I can continue something. And what am I doing? I'm trying to essentially activate these locations, and there are a variety of locations that do really, really cool things. So if I'm coming off here, the one thing I don't want to do necessarily too soon is go to a town. Now let me show you. These are towns, these yellow guys right here. I'm going to put this up a little bit closer yet again. I'm glad I've got my screen right here. So if I'm extending here and I get down to a town from my station, there are some up here as well, you can see, that is going to end that particular route. And so I will gain a town point, and getting cities, circling those, everyone starts with 1, gives you a fantastic bonus you get to use on your turn. So getting to those cities is really, really good, but you kind of want to like run your route in a way that hits up a lot of places along the way, because you've got mining with gold nuggets. You can go and play cards in town. You can go and kind of fortify the fort. You can go to the bank. You can isolate cattle, and you can build, I think there's the train station essentially. So there are just a handful of places that you want to go to. And the easiest thing to remember is if you put a leg of your route from wherever you're going and it matches the number on the hex, let me show you up close again, then that's going to complete it. So if I'm able to go 1 up here and then I go over this direction, I have essentially qualified to get that gold nugget because I put 1 leg on that particular hex. Now I need 4 sides around that to fortify that particular location. And the reason is because when you get your first one, it's 4. When you fortify your second, it's 12. When you fortify your third, it's 24 points. So it's just so big, and it's really, really hard to do. So you're kind of like, do I maximize something? Do I kind of like do what I can? The more cattle you isolate, the better, which is fantastic. Here's going to be an endgame scoring for your connections to cities on particular routes. And then what you do with your gold nuggets is you gain them, but then you can sell them at the bank, which is great if you can activate your bank. And then if you put your 2 lines around the saloon, you get to mark the current rounds ×2, and you get to have ×2 of your poker hand at the end of the round. And you can also do futures because you can actually activate the thing again and then kind of plan for the future, which I think is really, really helpful. So our goal here is to get these things done to get the 10 points to everyone else's 5. The other thing is to see how you can maximize your victory points, not just in your routes, but also with your poker hand. And that's the game. Players are going to take turns essentially passing this so that every player in the next hand is going to be first, taking that 1 card out of the 3. So that is essentially going to be the game. Again, just a really nice, delightful, kind of like chewy, I say chewy game because you kind of have like open play. Where do I go? What do I do? Am I going to go south out of here? Am I going to go north? Am I going to try to go over here? Like, what am I up to, essentially? So the next thing I wanted to talk about is one variant, and this variant includes 2 jokers. And I like the jokers because they are wild, and you just shuffle them into the deck and they become a spade and a club, or the heart and the diamond. And so when you draw them, you can take them just like any other card, but you essentially put like a star in here, and at the end of the round, it counts as whatever you want. You don't even have to pick right away. You get to pick after the fact. I like that. I like that so much. It adds a lot of versatility and flexibility so that players can respond. And the other thing I really like about the game, there's another variant that's in the rules, and it says deal cards out to every player. So you're going to deal 1 card out to every single player, and that's before you flip over the cards for the round. This card is going to be the final card that you get to play in the round. So not only does it foreshadow your suit that you'll activate in the final leg of your 5-turn round, it also tells you what your actual 10 to ace value is for your poker hand, and it gives you more strategy. I think that as an advanced play, it's just really clever and so easy to do, and I just really, really like it. It kind of reminds me of the new variant I've been playing with, No Thanks, which is dealing a card out to every player from the deck that has 3 to 35, and then that is going to be a card that you could possibly add to your display at the end of the game or not. But it also gives you information throughout the entire game so that you have just a little bit of something to go with. And I just think that it just elevates the play so much. Now, the forest map is really, really interesting. It has, again, different configuration and different cards, along with a new scoring mechanism of the prisons. I think this is great. I feel like you could play, this is going to be a 60-minute game. I know it looks really straightforward and easy, but I think it has a lot for players to really sink their teeth into. But I think if you play Desert 1, flip it over, Desert 2, and play with the variants, I recommend the 2 variants that I talked about highly, and then you play Forest and then Forest again, those are just 4 plays and essentially your first stab at that particular map that of course you want to come back to, because you didn't necessarily do everything you wanted to do, and there's also too much to do. These maps are packed with opportunities. You are not going to get to do it all. So I say replayability and coming back to it. I'm going to say that my experience with Pioneer Rails reminds me a lot of my experience with cartographers. First time I played it, I was kind of like, what is everyone talking about? Why is this so exciting? I didn't necessarily get the strategy or the planning, and I kind of had too much going on. I think cartographers is actually more complex than a lot of players might, argue. And so then I was like, but the more I came back to it, the more I understood the overall system, and the more I really kind of fell into the complexity and the strategy that the game offers. So I think Pioneer Rails has that, learn it, play it a time or two, and then really just sink your teeth into it and have a fantastic time. Great theme, fantastic artwork, really thoughtful maps. Most of the box is just the sheets, the player sheets that you tear off, and again, they're double-sided, comes with the pencils, comes with the eraser. I think there's just a whole bunch here. So upon further reflection, just enjoy it. It is a nice, juicy flip and write where players again are creating their own networks and essentially going wherever they want to, as long as it comes off of the route of that particular station or the legs that are coming off of those routes. There's no way for you to split a route unless you use your bonus for the city. And that's where I think getting the cities, I told you they have fantastic bonuses. Another bonus you could do is changing the actual suit. That's one of the bonuses that you can have with the city. It's just really, really dynamite. The rules are super clear, and I think the cards that you get to pick for those public objectives, really clear, really obvious, and they really change up the game too. Tons to like here. I'm super, super excited that I came back to Pioneer Rails, and I think you should give it a try too. All right, folks, that's going to be it for me this time. I'll see you later.